The sun was an okay guy. They had a pack, dragonfly. The dragonfly ran away. Cracks me up, man. Hello, good day, happy spring. It's spring. Spring's gonna be sprung. Hey, okay. My name's Marge. I'm a Hilkenpath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. You like my shirt today? I gotta go to the supermarket. I was just telling Mom, I said, Mom, I think I had resting homicidal face when I was growing up because I would be in my own little world, just minding my own little business, and freaking people would be like, what's your problem? And then I would shift, and I think it just occurred to me why the way they do that is because they needed the attention, and I had the ability to be in my own world, and they couldn't, so they had to draw my attention from my own world and put me into theirs. And then I'd go on the defense, and I'd be like, I don't have a problem. Now I have a problem because I was minding my own business and you're bothering me. And you're saying I have a problem. I don't like it when people tell me what I am. I don't like it when people tell anybody what I don't like when people take on definitions of other people's for themselves. I don't like that stuff. I think only the spirit, the being, gets to define themselves. Now, they're characteristically speaking, people we know who people are by the way they behave. So Mom and I had a good couple conversations this morning. The flowers are beginning to wilt. I left them outside yesterday for a while. It didn't get too hot, but one of the things was on my Facebook page how you could put like a significant life event. On October 4th, 2019, I started seeing how the world was going to go because I collect a lot of data and I listen to a lot of different astrologists, whether I like them or not. They're just microphones, connections to spirit as far as I'm concerned, and have data, We're all connected. Everybody that comes in our path, I believe that we are connected to. I think everybody that I engage with, like on a social level, I think I've been them, and I think everybody's is incarnated as everyone at some point in time. We all get a turn. That's why you got to be good to each other, because you don't know which side of the coin you're going to be on in any set engagement. Stanley agrees. There's cats outside. There's like animals all over the place. So I met the neighbor yesterday. He's a cool guy. I gave him a couple cookies. I hope he slept good. Tell him what I always tell him. If it's too much, just drink some orange juice. It'll taper off. You'll be all right. But I haven't heard anybody ever complain about too much flour. So when I was talking to Mom earlier, I was like, I hated school. Because I always knew that one day that this information that they were telling me wasn't going to matter. Because they would talk about things that happened in history, and those things don't matter at that point. So I knew that one day from that point in the future, the events of what happened in that day weren't going to be relevant. So I was like, and I hated tests. Because I could see things from so many different angles, especially math and the whole FOIL thing. The order. I was one of those that would come up with the right answer, but my steps were wrong. What the fuck kind of bullshit is that? What is that? You don't do it right. Anyway, so when I was, I don't like this song right. Even your shuffle is like all the same order. I was thinking, I was kind of, a little melancholic this morning because that's why I put the lavender as my thumbnail, because this is the first spring in let's see, 4 how long were we in that? 2008 I bought the house. 2007, so 13 years that I haven't had the fragrance of fresh lavender. The cat's all cantankerous today in my backyard, and it kind of makes me sad. That's why I put the lavender for the thumbnail, because Because I had it in Oregon, then I had it in my house in 2331 in Nebraska. And so I just miss it. And I miss the big red truck. I got out. I showed Mom a picture. She's like, "Do you miss it?" It's like more than I thought I would, or I thought, But I try not to think too much about it because it makes me sad. Anyway, because 2019, I was even looking at trucks online last night on Craigslist all over the Midwest, like Kansas City, Omaha. I found one that was kind of cool, but it was at an auction in Kansas City, and I don't know how that works. But, maybe one day. Anyway, I like the old ones. I don't like new trucks. I don't like new vehicles. I don't like the new cars. I don't like that part. Nope. I don't like all the what are you going to plug your freaking electric car into when the freaking power grid goes out? Freaking Elon Musk. Dude, the guy's a freaking Luciferian, dude. But people drive around his cars and, if you are for something and you put your money and your energy into something, you are for that entity. The dude's a freaking creep. What happened to his first child? Sacrifice. Give me a break. But that doesn't happen. So, yesterday was a full day. Yesterday was a busy day. The cat is flipping around on top of his cat tree. Want to eat it? He's very fiery in his bits. You got spring fever, Kitty-o? Kitty, kitty? Kitty, kitty? Oh, there we go. He's like, nah, you want it too much. You just hold this like this and talk. Stanley's more entertaining than I am anyway. Oh, Stanley. You got a cuter face, Stanley. Whoa! Whoa! Alright. That's enough of that. Whoa, I don't want to encourage his behavior because that was freaking... How many dives you down to, Home Slice? That was freaking... Whoa. Anyway. I gotta get going to the grocery store soon. So in 2019, I wrote on my banner, making a plan, because I knew I was starting to get inklings of which way the world was going. And I was just like, wherever we're going to be, on December 20th, 2020, the big conjunction, whatever day that was, it's like the new Earth. That's where the new Earth is going to be for us. And we ended up in northern New Mexico. And I think about what God did to orchestrate that whole entire thing. It's just freaking a miracle, man. How I knew it wasn't going to work out in Arizona because of the day. I think that was the day Aries was retrograding in Mars. Or something. And it was like, whatever venture you start on this day, it's not going to last. I also have heard, I can't remember if it was Minopon or if it was the Peace Dealer. One of them said, or maybe it was both of them at some point, who knows, at one point that they've started projects, like they needed to make money or something like that, but it was just like an idea and it flashed in and flashed out. And so I was like, okay, whatever's good. And then it was the invite to come stay in Arizona is what started that day. So I knew going into it, and I had red flags I had signs all over the place. It's like, this is what is going to get you to where you and Mom and the critters need to be. It's going to be a long, hard, sucky winter. I knew that going in from spring last. I'm like, dude, it's going to be a long, hard winter, but this whole next year, spring's going to be sprung. Because of the, new energies and people just coming into their spirit, coming into their authenticity, who they are, whether that's shadow or dark. At least they're not, freaking people are going to stop lying about it. Well, some. Anyway, and they're changing. Some are going from shadow to light, and some are they're switching teams. There's a lot of turnover right now in the spirit world. World War III is of the spiritual variety. And so, I just knew that this winter's in Arizona was freaking hard, man. That was hard because we were only there a few days, and I was like, this is gonna suck. But it didn't suck for months. It only sucked for weeks. It could have sucked for months, Ma. But there are some high points in it. There are some little silver linings in it. Mom turned 70 there, and they got her. They tried. They helped celebrate her. She was just so ugly and so nasty that it's just hard to give people credit because it's just like all the ugliness that they can be kind of erases any goodness that comes up. So anyway, that was just another lesson in my faith because that's all I could do is pray. That's that for hours all day long. What end up like between letting the dogs out, and is pray. That's all I could do. And God carried us through, and then He provided us an earth angel to freaking life. Nobody's ever gifted me $15,000 before. Ever. I was thinking about that today when I was a little kid. I never got a lot of presents. So when people do remember me with things, at some point when I wasn't around them, they thought about me. And I think about people, and for years and years, I would reach out to people every time I think about them. And more often than not, they'd be like, I was just thinking about you. That's how frequency works. People are literally tending to one each other, But what happened was people didn't want it. Because I know that people didn't want my communique because they wouldn't answer back. That's it, So I quit. I stopped doing it. I dropped out of instant messages. And there's a couple people I message now and again, just because I'm thinking about them, because we're close in frequency in some capacity, and, one of them messages back, makes me feel good, I don't do it as much. I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, Mom, I know what life feels like. Ever since I was a little girl, I knew what it was life, feels like. And just being around people that are a lie. They're contrary. They act different. They say things different than they are, because I can feel how they really are. And they just go through life. That's not real. No. That's not real. That doesn't happen. We all have our own intuition. Seems to me the closer I get to God, Spirit, whatever, good orderly direction, that I don't know, my train of thought just derailed. How do you feel about things, Ma? Yeah, I'm giving it a lot of thought. What are you thinking about over there? You excited for spring? Yes. Arizona was hard, huh? Yeah? Well, I knew going into it, spring is going to be sprung, and now spring is going to be sprung. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be, well, for some people. Good and bad is all subjective. Are people figuring that out? It's all there's, Rick Levine tells a lot of stories about that. Good stories about that. About, like, he just tells a story, and then about, like, some soldier, or some young man in a small town, is riding his horse, and is going along, and the horse freaking jumped the fence or whatever, and the dude falls off and he breaks his leg. And some would think that's a very unfortunate event. Somebody breaks his, But then the army comes through and then says, we're taking all the young men to go fight off in these wars, but the young man couldn't go because he broke his leg. So his unfortunate event wasn't really an unfortunate. Anyway, so Rick Levine talks, I can't remember the rest of it. That's as far as it goes, but you get the gist of it. It goes on a little while longer. So it's all how you look at things. And I have the ability that I can look at any situation. I look at it all kinds of ways. Things don't have one answer. We don't live on one earth. There's not, however many people, there's far less people than 7 billion people on this planet. There's not that as many people as they say on this planet. Because I've driven all over the United States and I'm like, where are these 382 million people? Because I've been to a lot of these big cities and I've been in a lot of the spaces in between and I've been to a lot of places where people aren't. But to say and designate there's 382 million people within the border, because if you look at the states, there's only 2 million in New Mexico. There's only 7 million in Oregon. Supposedly there's 32 million in California, but still that is one of the biggest states. How many are in Texas? It don't add up. I spent an afternoon, took me like 4 hours. I just went through Wikipedia. There's like counties in California, right? Now you can go top 100 counties in California, and it'll give you a list with 100 plus counties. But there's not 100 counties in California, right? So where are all the 38 million people? Because I grew up in California. All Northern California, there ain't freaking millions of people from freaking Sacramento. There ain't millions of people. In Wairika, Dunsmuir, Susanville, Weaverville, Redding. There aren't millions of people up there. Okay? So they make up everything. And then they say, well, we need this budget to support this amount of people. I've done videos on it years ago. I did the numbers. They say there's 190, this was at the time, and my numbers are probably off. They say there's like 194,000 inmates in the prison system in California. And then they say we need $70,000. And they get as shitty freaking health care as we did in the Air Force. The last dental cleaning I had in the Air Force, it was 2000. It took almost 3 hours. We would get students from local university. We're fucking guinea pigs. We don't get, so you think, oh, we get free health. No! You don't get, the operation I had on my ankle, I had severed tendons, and I was running the whole time, my whole career. All 6 years of it. Running on tendons that were severed, right? And so they finally did surgery on it because I kept rolling my ankle because there wasn't a tendon to hold it in place. I'd be stepping there and my roll out. It freaking hurts too. I got bone spurs, all kinds of stuff in there, good stuff in there. So it looks like the freaking captain, made my incision with a freaking butter knife, man. It's not even one straight incision. It's like shoot, 3. And it's all it's like, dude, were you drunk from the night before? Too much time at the I mean, it's just, people think that there's like this higher standards in these organizations because they get all the budgets. No, it's just more of a club for the creeps to hang out. It's all a racket. They don't say anything. True, they never have. Even your vote counts. Just try and make the best of the environment in which you're in. That's all that we can do. Is try and build up the community in which you are in. That's what I'm going to try and do. Go out and make more positive connections than negative. See, because I have those tendencies. I'm Aries. I got all my shadow stuff. I'm Scorpio moon, Cancer rising. I got a lot of potentials, low negative potentials, tendencies, justifiable anger, indignant, just all this, just character defects. They are all floating around in me, right? If I don't keep my vibe high, those can just pop out. So that is the only defense that I am on today. Is from those lower vibrational freaking frequencies, just like a spiteful tongue, being curt. I can be curt. I can be very curt. So I better get going because I want to get out before it gets too early because it's a beautiful day. It's the first day of spring and people are going to be out. And I want to get out before them. Go to the supermarket, do all the stuff I need to do, and then just come home and chill and just play the rest of the day, you know. But I'll probably be back on later on. I'll probably be back later on today at some point, check in, stuff like that. I did take all the baby's breath out of the flowers. I had to take, because Stanley was eating it up, and I was like, I think I remember reading something about how they might be toxic to critters. So I looked it up, and they're mild. Anything can be mildly toxic. But he wanted it too bad, and that tells me it's probably not good for him. I mean, he was, like, adamant about it. So happy spring. Love to you, Nini57. Yeah, I could go on and on about how the troops are treated. We're just guinea pigs, dude. I got 6 jabs in 3 months. One at each time. See you in a few weeks, kid. My shoulder, I think it's deteriorating because my shoulder hurts so bad. And I used to bust tables and carry stuff on my shoulders when I was younger, but I mean, I feel like maybe I played softball for years. I mean, I don't know if softball pitchers, their shoulders hurt the way, but because it's the freaking straight up poison. They put all this poison from under their kitchen sink and shit and say, we're going to charge, each unit for blah, blah, blah. And then they store it with formaldehyde. And studies have been proven that has caused ALS. And you wonder why freaking all these people, good thing they made June 6th ALS freaking day. There's an ALS day for Lou Gehrig's disease because, more and more with this freaking, all these vaccines, more and more people are going to get this stuff. It's really a trip, man. I never thought I'd see the world freaking crumble the way it is, but, when you get a world full of freaking puppets and people that just that don't question things, why are you doing that? That's not fair. That was always me. God, teachers, authority. First song out of the gate this morning was the Authority song. Off on authority, authority always wins. Because I was always the one going, that's bullshit. Because I couldn't stop it. Because if I saw something that was lame or unfair, I don't care if I got in trouble. I'm not going to let that go by. At least you can do what you want, Mr. Control Freak. But at least there's one person on the planet that is going to be like, you were wrong for that. Condemn me, whatever. But at least I'm going to be that. And I've been that one person my whole life. I got suspended when I was 12. I was in junior high for calling Mr. Smith a dirty old man. Everyone knew he was. I just said it. Here's the prayer rock. I found this in Mom's stuff. Came across Mom's box that I wanted to read for people. To me, prayer is talking to God. Okay, this is God. Whatever's in the highest good for all of us. If we could make this happen for me, something like this, that would be great, right? To me, that's praying. And then when I meditate, because it's very important to meditate. If I can lay there for an hour and just not jump on any train thought, then in the instance that I am out in the world and I come up with somebody that is trying to take my vibe, if I can be still for an hour, at least I can hang on to my vibe for a second and not let them take it, right? Yeah? So prayer rock, there's a little rock inside, just a little piece of little material and a little ribbon on it. And it says, I'm your little prayer rock and this is what I'll do. Just put me on your pillow till the day is through. Then turn back the covers and climb into your bed and whack! Your little prayer rock will hit you in the head. Then you will remember that the day is through to kneel and say your prayers as you wanted to. It folded so the letters are start beginning to dissolve. And when you are finished, just dump me on the floor. I'll stay there through the night to give you help once more. When you get up in the next morning, clunk, I'll stub your toe so you will remember your prayers before you go. Put me back on your pillow when your bed is made, and your clever little prayer rock will continue in your aid. Because your Heavenly Father cares and loves you so, He wants you to remember to talk to Him, Oh, wow. I was just it's so cute.